Long ago, in a land the exact same location as ours, except 40 years older, a game series known as Final Fantasy was conceived, with the idea of being plot-focused games. But there was one tiny issue. The NES can't process more than 200 lines of code, meaning that games were only capable of stories that could be described in words such as mid, average, or whatever this word means. I don't know, I just looked up synonyms for average. Until one day, Miyamoto came down from the heavens above and said, 6 megabytes. Okay, I know that intro was stupid, but I'm running out of ideas for how to write intros to Final Fantasy videos. Hi, I'm Jackstep. I make mediocre video essays on the internet, and in this video, I will be continuing my Final Fantasy binge through the first 6 games by covering Final Fantasy IV. I know I've said this for Final Fantasy III as well, but this is definitely the best Final Fantasy game I've played so far. Final Fantasy is a game series that has been applauded for its focus on story over gameplay. But as alluded to in the stupid intro, so far the stories have been charming but relatively basic, mostly due to the limitations of the NES. But now, we've upgraded to the Super Nintendo, meaning we have a lot more potential for a good story. And a good story they did, because this plot actually has depth and characters, and I feel like I can actually talk about it outside just saying, well, it's better than the last one. This game also added a bunch of new other additions to the Final Fantasy formula. But like always, I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's dive into Final Fantasy IV. And as always, thank you for watching. The game starts with us following this Dark Knight Cecil, who is currently, committing genocide on a bunch of innocent mages to steal their magic crystal. Man, this guy sucks. I can't wait to kick his ass. Oh, we play as him, but it's okay, because apparently he didn't mean it. His king, who apparently raised him since birth, has been acting really strange recently, and he's been wanting to steal a bunch of elemental crystal for schemes, I guess? And Cecil wants to not do genocide, but he also doesn't want to go against his father figure. So instead of doing anything about that, he just bends to his dragoon friend Kain. Yes, he's called a dragoon. Don't laugh, it's a very serious character. Anyways, the king sends Cecil and Kain on a quest to deliver some weird ring to a village called Mist. On our way there, we get to have our first battles. One of the biggest gameplay changes in Final Fantasy IV is the addition of a new timer system. Basically, instead of the old boring way of everyone having one turn around, every party member and enemy has a timer that's length is dictated by the speed at which your character or enemy moves. When the timer is up, the enemy or player gets their action. This means that the combat moves a lot faster, and you have to make decisions on the fly, because the longer you take, the more time the enemy has to attack you. This makes combat a lot more dynamic and fun. It was a bit tricky getting used to at first, especially when you have a full party and things get kind of overwhelming, but overall, I think this is a good change, and apparently the developers thought so too, because this becomes a Final Fantasy staple. Many enemies also use this new timer system to their advantage, like this Mist Dragon blocking our party's way to the village of Mist, who turns into mist every now and then, making it impossible to attack. So you have to wait until they turn back to normal in order to make use of your turn. After getting past that dastardly dragon, we make our way to Mist, where it turns out that the ring the king gave us is actually a weapon to destroy the village. In distress, we try to help out this summoner child named Rydia, who tries to attack us because we quite literally are responsible for killing her mom. Honestly, very fair. And she ends up using this attack that separates us from Kain. Wanting to right his wrongs, Cecil takes Rydia, who is unconscious, to an inn in a nearby desert, and tries to tell her that he wants to help, when a bunch of soldiers from his kingdom come in and order Cecil to kill her. He refuses and fights them instead, saving Rydia's life, showing her that he truly does want to make up for his mistake. Dang, this story is actually pretty good. It feels like the SNES really gave the writers a lot more freedom to write this story, and it shows. The start with Cecil being shown as being a bad guy, only for the realization that you play as him, is a wonderful subversion of expectations and a great way to open the game. Instead of just the last few games where the story was mostly the excuse for dungeon crawling and to provide a cool backdrop for the game to take place, this story matters. I want to help Cecil stop the evil king from his vile actions. I feel bad for Rydia, and I want her to get some kind of revenge or closure. There are actual characters here, instead of just 4 dudes we get at the beginning of the game. We got Cid, we got Kain, and we even have a love interest from Rosa. To be fair, I guess Final Fantasy II had characters for the party members as well, but one of the party members was named Guy, and his main personality trait was Speaking Beaver. Yes, Speaking Beaver. I don't know how, I don't know why, but this guy apparently speaks Beaver. Not only do we get better characters, but we also get character development. Like this whole side quest where Cecil has to overcome his past and he changes his class from a Dark Knight to a Paladin. Very cool. I want to talk more about all of these characters, but sadly that would take too long. So instead, I will mention the best one. He's old, he hates his daughter's boyfriend, and he's way too overpowered. Ladies and gentlemen, though considering my analytics, mostly gentlemen, I introduce you to Tellah the Sage. Tellah doesn't even want to kill Golbez because of his evil doings. He just wants to avenge his daughter. Oh wait, who's Golbez? Oh right, I forgot to mention Golbez. Basically, he's this evil wizard who wants to collect all the crystals and take over the world. And he's been mind controlling the actually innocent king to do genocide. The rest of the game plays out as this game where we keep trying to go after the crystals, but Golbez is always just one step ahead. At several points, he brainwashes Kain to do his bidding. He leads to the death of several interesting characters I forgot to mention, and murders entire villages of people. On this journey, we travel through the world on various airships. We even go to Hell at one point, and apparently there's a bunch of dwarves there. I guess being under 5 feet tall is a sin in this world. Now is a good time to mention that the main complaint I've heard about this game is that it's a lot easier than the other Final Fantasy games, which in my opinion isn't necessarily a bad thing. Many things people would consider making it easier, I would probably consider just making things more convenient, like mages learning spells on their own and these places and dungeons where you can save and use a tent to heal. But anyways, back to the story. So, we go to the moon! Cue the DuckTales music. And at one point meet moon people, and a moon person explains to us that apparently Golbez has been being mind controlled by an evil moon person known as Zemus, who's the actual evil guy. So we have Golbez mind controlling the king, and Zemus mind controlling Golbez. It's mind controlception. We have to go and break Golbez out of his mind control, and then we head back to the moon to go beat the final boss Zemus. Also, apparently Golbez and Cecil are like brothers of like this evil dragon god or something. I don't know, man. I had no idea how to fit this into the video. The final fight against Zemus isn't an easy one, but after a long fought fight, we are victorious. We get to have a final cutscene where all of our party members are trying to gain what they had lost in the many struggles on this long journey. Man, this game is actually pretty good. For the thumbnail of this video, I probably said something along the lines of, "This is where Final Fantasy gets good," or something like that, and I truly mean it, because this has been the most enjoyable and emotionally investing experience yet, and I'm excited to see what the series has to offer me next. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end. It really helps out. I'm a small creator at the moment, so if you subscribed or just checked out another one of my Final Fantasy videos, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.